Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Claw and the King podcast. I'm joined by quite a happy man today. Obviously, it is ahead of what... Oh, it is sort of...
I'm just getting shot.
Yeah. In result of probably the greatest day of his life yesterday. Now, if you didn't know, Oscar is probably the biggest Kid Laroi fan you've ever met. It's borderline insufferable, especially when you're locked in a car with him on multiple trips. But yeah, essentially, the Kid Laroi played at the halftime. What did you rate his performance? Before we sort of harp on, well, obviously
I do think his
first,
performance needs analysis.
Wow, that was really
I was halfway between saying analysing and analysis, and just got caught up in between. But yeah. Anyway, we move. The performance from the Kid Laroi, I do think it was a solid performance. He played a lot of his new songs. I would have rather seen a slightly different song selection, but the bit when he did the DJ, that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm talking about? But the main issue with the show was you couldn't fucking see him.
Yeah.
The smoke guy was having a mare. I don't know what was going on.
So you didn't rate his performance? Are you saying?
Well, I think it was shit because of you couldn't physically see him. So
I think I've heard a lot to the contrary. I think a lot of people are like happier that he not maybe
happy they couldn't see him. They don't like his face.
Yeah, maybe it's that. But I think it was more the fact that look, the problem with the NRL that I've had for a bit is it always tries to, I don't know, it tries to sort of cater to its like.
Well, do you remember
50s,
who? Do you remember who the entertainment was when we went?
I don't.
Exactly. It was Amy fucking Shark.
Yeah.
So
it's always you always look at and it's the common criticism is you always look at the AFL grand final and you look at the NRL and you look at the difference in terms of quality. But it felt like they got, Kid Laroi is, probably one of the biggest artists in the world, even though I don't love his music. He's Australian. He's from Redfern, so he's a big rugby league fan. He's knowledgeable about rugby league, so he'll put an actual care into his performance, not getting fucking...
He actually knows nothing about it.
Yeah, but...
They always say, he's a South fan. He's like, yeah, totally, guys. And then they ask him a question about it, and he's got no fucking clue what's going on.
No, but he's aware of rugby league.
He knows what it is.
He's aware of the occasion. Like, if you got 21 Savage out there, he'd be like, what the fuck is this? And he'd just dope around. Like, he wouldn't care.
Well, 21 Savage would have to bleep every second word, so it wouldn't really work.
Yeah, but you get what I'm saying. He's at least aware of it. I feel like it's always disingenuous when you have, like, a big artist at an event, and they're kind of just moving around.
Katy Perry doesn't know what AFL is.
Yeah.
And that was probably, I would say that was probably the best performance in Australian sporting history.
Wow.
Well, in terms of it was like production-wise, it was Super Bowl-esque.
That's a bold take. That is a bold take. No, but look, at the end of the day, we're not here to talk about AFL. I think at the end of the day, I thought it was better than what we've had in the past. I mean, in the past, it's been a joke. And I like that they're including it more in the halftime. And I think a lot of people are like, we don't want it to turn so American, but I think it's it's a part of the game. It's a spectacle, the grand final, and I think it should be shown off with a halftime show or a pre-match show or whatever the case may be. And obviously it was a pre-match show. But, what did you make of the game, more importantly?
The game was obviously a great game. It was never in doubt. I mean,
that's great analysis.
4 in a row. It's pretty hard to fathom, really, and put into words how great an achievement it is.
Yeah.
I don't know if we want to dive into that, or we can focus on the game itself.
Well, I think we'll focus on the games, and then we'll focus on the game, and then we'll go into the nitty gritty, maybe controversial stuff.
Nothing controversial.
Unless you're
literally blind. But
yeah, okay. Anyway, so
there's no
Panthers
way.
won 14-6.
They did.
Yesterday in the grand final. A couple of standout performances, obviously. With the I've just blanked his name. Holy shit.
Liam
Martin. There you go. Obviously Cleary was great again. I thought Alamotti had his best game in a Panthers jersey, which was I mean we went to Magic Round a couple of months ago and watched him, and he was like, oh, well, fucking hell, how's this guy on the team? But yeah, he really showed up, I felt. But overall, it felt inevitable at the end, and that was my sort of main takeaway from the game. It's kind of like, how is anyone supposed to win?
Yeah.
Because it's such...
It felt inevitable in the end, but then throughout the whole season, people like you were saying they've got no chance.
I never said that.
Well, you said they weren't going to win.
But because I had faith in my own team.
No, but you said at the start of the year, you were like, Penrith are going to fall off. They've lost Critter and Spencer. They're not going to be there.
Well, look, I misjudged them. I think, look, the system is the system, and I think it's so hard to beat them. Now, is it boring at times? Absolutely, but
it's not boring though because the pressure is so high.
Yeah, well,
that
it's such a well-oiled machine. And look, I had the conversation with my mates at the pub, and we're watching the game, and it was like, oh well, they're going to lose Fisher Harris next year, and they're going to lose Luai next year, and yeah, they're big losses.
This is the first year since I've been a fan that we actually have marquee signings coming. We got Talangi, the most hyped young guy in the comp, and Papali'i, Dally back rower.
Wasn't Dally M last year?
No, well, you can't fault him for that. He's gone to the Tigers.
Look, you're still losing players. Now, my response to it was, in fairness, it's at this point you can't doubt them until they lose. It's like the Bulls in the 90s. Unless the moment they lose or disband completely, and Nathan Cleary's completely gone, and Ivan Cleary's gone, and they're all gone, then you can doubt them. But I think when they've still got the halfback, the coach, and the system in place, it's pretty hard to doubt them, no matter who they lose or no matter who they bring in. Now, you mentioned the signings. We'll get on to that in a few minutes. But, yeah, essentially with the game, what was your overall, as a Panthers fan, with the jersey repping, what was your feeling on the game? Yeah,
I think we were on top the majority of the game. There were moments where it felt like Melbourne were on top, but our defence is just unbelievable. The goal line defence is incredible. They scored one try, and that was the best attacking side in the comp all year. I mean, you can throw the Roosters in there, but they don't count. Melbourne were the best attacking team. And to limit them to one try is fucking incredible. I know, and in attack, we didn't look great, but we just grind out the win. And it's literally inevitable. We are Thanos. And I know someone. I'm not
fucking line from the press conference.
I was not referring to that, but that did also happen. And I knew someone was going to bring it up as well. I was like, oh, they've got so many of them. Someone's going to say Infinity
Stones. Someone's going
to say it. Isaiah Yeo, I thought was absolutely amazing.
Yeah,
he had a few carries where just literally PCMs 10, 15 metres, and he looked like he was about to fall over from exhaustion after he played the ball. Absolutely inspirational. Liam Martin obviously wins the Clive. If you look at Liam Martin throughout the regular season, you're like a casual fan, you would say this guy's a fringe first grader. And then he's actually the best back row in the comp.
No, I think it's criminal. I think he's a player that, if you criticise Liam Martin, you're an idiot. I think he's a big game player that brings an intensity to that Panthers team that no one else can bring. You watch him, and to be fair, for State of Origin as well, you see it for the Blues. He is just immense defensively.
Yeah, but he only ran for 80 metres, and most people would say that and go, oh, he's a bit shit. But everything else he does is just elite. He just makes winning play after winning play after winning play. I mean, he obviously scored a try, but the catch he took to set up the Alamotti try, just ridiculous. I mean, good Lord. I don't know what to say. I love the boys. Thank you to them for bringing me this 4 years in a row. I was just reflecting on it, and I was like, a lot of people will never get to see their team win a comp in their lifetime, or in their prime years of life, and I've just seen 4 in a row.
Wow. It's
no one else will get to experience this.
Yeah, look, I'm not jealous of you. I think the Roosters have won recently, so it's not something that I'm like, oh my God, I can't wait to. I mean, to be fair, I want my other fucking teams to pull their weight, but look, it's a great achievement. It's definitely the best. I don't know if you can even say the best team, because the team has changed so much because of losing players over the past couple of years. It's probably the best. I mean, Ivan Cleary probably is up there as the best coach of all time now. And Cleary's impact on the finals. Now, I will have my criticism of him.
If you criticize that guy,
in State of Origin, he is fucking below par.
He hasn't played it in 3 years.
No, he has.
No, he hasn't.
He has.
No, he hasn't.
He has. He's played games in 3 years.
He didn't play this year and last year.
He is, whenever he plays State of Origin, he is very below par. And that is nothing against, but I will always say that when he puts on that Panthers jersey, he is elite. And I watched it firsthand when the Roosters played Penrith. He was just dominating the game even through his kicking game. If Penrith make 30 metres, he can just belt a kick. And then when they're right on the opposition try line, he'll just do such a deft little kick off the post, and he'll do a 6 again, or he's always threatening. Every kick seems like it's got a chance. there's a chance for, a result out of it. And that was something I noticed actually on the game sort of yesterday, was the challenge on a lot of the kicks. Usually in the NRL nowadays, you see teams, especially if you're sort of at the halfway line or you're on the 40-metre line, they'll kick it, they'll try and pin them in the corner. They won't contest for those jump balls when you're a bit further out, not really in attacking position. But I felt like Penrith throughout the game were just streaming through and putting contests on the ball, and it really threw Melbourne off. They didn't allow them to get into a rhythm. It felt like it was always broken footy from fifth tackle kicks, and it just felt like there was a massive threat. And there would sometimes they knock the ball on, or sometimes it would be a turnover, but half the time it would be, a chance. They'd get the ball back and they'd try and make a play out of it. So, yeah, that was something that I noticed. I just felt like Penrith were obviously, no one's going to beat them in terms of fitness. So there's no team that's more fitter, and I think that's what sort of the backbone of your system sort of thrives on, is you just simply being able to last longer. But yeah, look, on the game, there were obviously the controversial moment that we can talk about was the disallowed try. Now, look, I want a full sort of transparency here. I think Penrith should have won the game. So I don't think this would have changed it anyway, but this was a try. And
no, stop, please, stop.
If you saw the camera angle, it was a try.
I've seen the camera angle.
I don't think you have.
They've released the camera angle. You could see where there's like a forearm between the ball and the grass the entire time.
No, it's a different angle.
A different angle? Where the forearms just disappeared.
The other angle shows the ball on the ground.
No, that's not a fucking angle. That's a photo. No one can find a video of that angle.
I've seen many videos of that angle on TikTok. They're all over TikTok, the angles of that video.
All the angles I've seen, not once has the ball touched the ground.
But look, I think that looks like a try, especially with the evidence that they had on the commentators were saying it, everyone was saying it.
Yeah, I'm going to say this. Joey Johns, holy bias. That guy was a tough listen the whole game.
How is he a bias towards Melbourne?
Because he's mates with them all.
You think he's not mates with friggin'...
Firstly, that commentary was biased. And then Freddie gets on the mic and he's like, look, I just had a look and I think there was a hand under it. I was like, I can't believe I'm actually agreeing with Freddie Fittler right now. But
he's a Penrith player, so...
And he's also the voice of reason in that situation. And then did you see Joey's... quote where he said, if I was starting a team right now, my first player I'd sign would be Tyron Wishart at 9. And Hello Sport just posted on their story a black screen with that quote, and it was like Andrew Johns.
Look, I love Tyron Wishart. Tyron Wishart's a great player.
Maybe the guy that's actually starting ahead of him in his own club team might be a better option, but
on the game, did you feel at any point that Melbourne were... Did you have any sort of standout performances from Melbourne? Was there anyone that sort of scared you? Harry Grant was the main one.
The two wingers I thought were their best players, Coates and Warbrick. Every time they brought the ball back, they were just beasts. They were breaking tackles, making meters. I thought they were their two best players. Grant, he always does that. That's just what he does. I don't think he played exceptional or anything. Even he scores the same try every week, it feels like. Where he just scoots from dummy half and no one can stop it. And I was just screaming at the end when they were on the attack. I was like, anybody but fucking Harry Grant. Do not let this dude run from dummy half and score. But anyway, everyone else, like Munster, went missing completely. Jerome Hughes, really disappointing performance after winning the Dally M during the week. Pappenhausen didn't really do much. So everyone from the Melbourne team didn't really play well. Their forwards were just outmatched. When they lost Nelson, they could not compete with our pack. It's just... is what it is. I think I don't know. They don't have any strike without Nelson, really.
Yeah. So. Yeah, it's tough. I think, they did miss a bit of Nelson. I thought they were a bit weak in the forward pack. They just couldn't last physically or, from a stamina point of view. But yeah, look, it was meant... a lot of people sort of picked Melbourne for this game, but looking at Penrith... against us and looking at us versus Melbourne, I felt like we had a better chance against Melbourne anyway. It was not surprising that Penrith won. And congrats on the fourth premiership. Are you going to win next year as well? Do you think?
I'd say so. Well, it's something I've realised is E equals MC squared is like the most famous formula in the world or whatever. Yeah, like the rugby league famous formula is Nathan Cleary on your team equals victory. So,
unless you're a Blues player or a Blues fan.
Well, he has won 3 series with Brad Fittler as coach. So in spite of that, he won 3 series. So
you cannot look. I will be on the Mitch Moses train to start at 7 for the Blues next year. I don't care. He is.
If we ever somehow get credibility from this, and you're spouting that shit, there is.
I have full faith in Mitch Moses.
Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you have full faith. Mitch Moses is a good player. He's probably better than DCE at this point in their careers. He's not better than Nathan Cleary, though.
I'm not saying he is. I'm saying in that arena, he's better than Nathan Cleary. I have seen Nathan Cleary be so mid for so long for the Blues that I just can't watch it anymore. He is so mid for the Blues. And the fact that you refuse to accept it is bizarre.
I don't refuse to accept it. For sure, he has had a few lackluster games, but...
Because Mitch Moses... Has Nathan Cleary ever been as good as Mitch Moses was for the Blues as Mitch Moses was last series?
Well, Mitch Moses had arguably the greatest halfback game ever in Game 2. That was people were comparing that to Joey John's game.
Yeah, and
but,
Game 3.
You know, the game before that he was not very good, and Game 3 he was good, but he wasn't exceptional. And you just can't pick him over Cleary. The chance of him repeating that are 1 in 1,000.
Yeah.
Next year, and then also, who are you going to still pick Luai, even when he's stinking it up at the Tigers?
Yeah. Look, it depends how bad it is. I think Luai has always been a form player, and I think if you pick him when he's,
I will say he has turned into a fucking great 6, 7, whatever you want to call him, half. You know, even in the grand final, he outplayed Munster. I feel like he's gone past Munster. I don't want to have this conversation, but I think Munster is past his best.
That's crazy.
It's not crazy.
I think he's just come off a really annoying, nagging injury this season, and he's not.
But last year he wasn't as good either.
No, you watch him play, and he's unreal.
He's still really good, but he doesn't put every time I would play Munster, 3-4 years ago, I was like, holy shit, we're gonna lose this game. But now I'm like, we can handle him,
Well, I think Penrith can. I think Penrith can handle pretty much anything, but I don't think that Munster is just washed. I think it's just more the...
I don't think he's washed. It's like he's in the same category as Tedesco.
Tedesco was basically an inch away from winning Dally M Player.
Yeah, but as we know...
That doesn't no, but you can't say that about the Roosters, though, when everyone scored 1 million points and we have...
No one scored 1 million points, as shown by the leaderboard.
Wow, it's shown by the leaderboard. Shut up, bro.
Yeah, bro. The Dally M system as a whole is fucked, though. I actually hate it.
The fact that Tedesco was that close within the Dally M with a Roosters team is crazy.
He had a great season, but...
So you can't say he's fucking on the decline.
He's not as good as he used to be.
He's crazy.
Is he as good as he was in 2019?
That's a peak season.
Exactly.
Everyone has
he's past his best
season. That doesn't mean he's past his best.
He is.
That just means that's the pinnacle of your career. Doesn't mean you not... it's like this. And he's at an unreal level. It's not just like a... it was just like a... I wouldn't say it's a one-off, but it's... You have pinnacle seasons. I completely disagree that Tedesco's on the decline. That's crazy.
Well, no, I think he's past his best, which is fair to say.
But by such a marginal amount that you can't even count it. It's
noticeable though. I don't know how to explain it, but he just doesn't have that ability to take a team to a premiership, in my view, anymore.
Look,
and I have no other way of explaining it other than just the eye test and my IQ and knowing that.
You hating James Tedesco.
I don't hate him.
And
I love the service he gave New South Wales while he was good. Played a couple of years too long, but...
that's exactly my point. He was the best fullback in the comp, and you're like, nah, you're gone, mate. You need to get...
Well, Dylan I think Edwards this year proved that Dylan Edwards is the man for the job.
Well, I think Dylan Edwards did a great job, but I still think James Tedesco is a better overall player.
No.
So why didn't Dylan Edwards win Dally M Player of the Year then?
Because he was injured for half the season, played New South Wales.
Well, why wasn't he
And that is the flaw of the system. It is absolutely ridiculous that over this 5-year period, no Panthers player has won a Dally M. The system's fucked.
No, I think it's more that the fact that your system is sort of...
it's the Dally M system.
No, I think it's the Dally M system. The fact that you play as a team.
Tom Trbojevic this year,
players.
It was just like, rounds 18 to 24. Tom Trbojevic, 75 points. He comes from nowhere to second. How is that even possible? That shouldn't be possible.
Yeah. Well, no, I don't like Dally M system either. But if you win the Dally M within a team that is also got a bunch of stars in it. Now, Jerome Hughes won it, but he won it in a Melbourne team that really didn't have Munster for a large part of the year, didn't have Pappenhausen.
Jerome Hughes should have won it.
Like, yeah, I know. I think Jerome Hughes should have won it. I'm not saying they shouldn't, but I'm saying that a lot of the star power within that team was gone, which is why he was great and why Melbourne coming first was such a great achievement for him and for the team. But for Tedesco to win it while the majority of his star players were in the game, like you had Sam Walker, who was unreal for basically all of the
5
season.
weeks.
Come on, bro. You can't see. This is where you let your bias get into it. I have come on this podcast and said, look, congrats to Penrith. I think they're a great team.
Yeah, because you would look like an idiot if you didn't.
No, but you look like an idiot now by saying Tedesco's washed and Sam Walker had a great 5 weeks.
I'm not saying he's washed. He's past his best. Sam Walker was good for 5 weeks.
He's been good. He was good for 24 weeks. What are you talking about?
No, but no one on the Roosters is taking points off Tedesco. When they win, he always gets the points.
No, Sam Walker got a lot of the points this year. That's what I'm saying. He had real competition from like guys like Sam Walker and Joey Manu and people like
Joey Manu.
Especially early. You forget how good.
This was Joey's worst season since he's been a pro.
At the start of the year, he was pretty damn good. Like, he was unreal.
It's not like he's competing with Isaiah Yeo and Dylan Edwards and...
Dylan Edwards doesn't fucking...
Fisher Harris and Luai.
They're not going to score like an 80-metre try. Like,
but they have impact on a game, which leads to them getting points.
That's not what the voters take into account. They take into account sort of unreal players that win games.
Even Toto. I feel like Brian Toto is the only winger in the comp that would get any points. But, yeah.
Anyway, congrats to Penrith.
Anyway.
Good premiership.
VIC.
More NRL news. Obviously, talking about the Blues in New South Wales, Madge Maguire leaving.
Traitor.
I think this was always on the cards. I mean, I can't really call him a traitor. Goes to the Brisbane Broncos. With a
double traitor.
Well, but yeah, it was a shock. First off, that Kevy was sacked.
Was it?
Well, after what they were talking about after the season, like, oh, this is not Kevy's fault, and everything's fine. And then all of a sudden, in their review, he apparently got fucking argy with them and told them to fuck themselves, and essentially he's gone.
Well, I think they told him, hey, mate, I think there's a few things you can probably fix up here. And he's gone, fuck off.
Nah, it's all good, lad. And then, essentially he's gone. But as soon as he was gone, you knew that Maguire was going to get the coach. I mean, I think it's a good hire for Brisbane. I think
it's the right move for Brisbane. I mean, as I've said all year long throughout Kevin Walters' whole coaching career, last year just masked over the fact that he's a shit coach. But he is a shit coach. And if they wanted to be a consistently good team, they had to do it. So... yeah,
I agree. I think...
Gordon Tallis made a fool out of himself on 360.
Well, he's his mate. I mean, you're not...
Yeah, but still, you got to have some sort of...
Like, if you were coaching...
You got to have some sort of professionalism.
If you were coaching for the Broncos, I would say... Like, if I was a coach for the Broncos and I was, like, in Kevy Walters' position and I took you to a grand final, then the next season, the team finished 9th, would you be like... And I got sacked that off-season, what would you say?
Me?
Yeah.
Well, I would hope... I would be honest with you. If you're
but like on national television though, I'm sure he's honest with Kevy in the background. But on national television backing your mate up, what would you say? So you can't really fault him.
No, I wouldn't go as far as he did. I would probably just like stay out of it, stay really even keel. Be like, look, if they thought this was the right decision, it's the right decision. I don't necessarily agree with it, whatever, and move on.
Fair play,
But anyway, in terms of the Broncos, this does. Anyway, I feel like it will help them in the short term. Next year, I think they'll be good. Again, it all really relies on injuries. Adam Reynolds is another year older, so he's going to be...
I mean, you can't rely on him at this point. I don't know why they just don't bench him and just have him as like sort of a guy to have around. Every time he plays, he has an injury.
Yeah.
There wasn't a time last season where he played and I was like, oh, this guy looks fully fit and healthy. He's always limping around somewhere. He's got something... So, you've got to look to the future, but the problem is they don't have any in the halves.
Yeah.
Ezra Mam looked really poor last year. And then Jock Madden, when he came in, wasn't great. It just looked like they lacked the composure that Adam Reynolds brought and sort of having his kicking ability backed up by the elite athleticism of guys like Tony Staggs, guys like Reece Welsh, guys like Selwyn Cobbo. and it just all fell apart. But I think Madge is a great hire. I think he got really the short end of the stick because he was coaching the Tigers, essentially. What was he supposed to do with that lot? So I think it was harsh for him in Tigers. Now, look...
But I do think he is a coach that can come under pressure in the modern sort of form of the game. He's a very hard-nosed coach. Even he took South to a comp, obviously, but by the end, he did get fired from South because all the players hated his guts by the end of it. Yeah. So that's why I'm saying it's a short-term thing. Do I think he can get 1 or 2 good years out of Brisbane? Yeah. But then I'm sure the players will hate him by the end of it and he'll be gone again.
That's why I thought he was a great fit for New South Wales.
6 weeks is perfect for his coaching style.
Yeah. But again, he wanted to be a club coach. That's what he wants to do. So you can't hate on him for it. And look, to be fair to him as well, he got the best job that you could probably ever get. I mean, the talent that roster has, you just don't get openings like that every day. I mean, some coaches are fucking fighting scraps to get the Dragons or get, the Tigers or get whoever. But he got, the biggest club in the NRL with an elite talent, an elite roster. So, yeah, I think they'll do a lot better next year. But, yeah, like you said, it's going to be probably a 1 or 2 year thing and then they're going to all hate him.
Yeah, exactly. And they're divas to begin with. I mean, Reece Walsh is probably the biggest diva in the league.
Not a big Reece Walsh guy, are you?
Well, physically I am, but... Jokes.
Joking. Anyway,
New South Wales. Left in a bit of a sticky situation now. No pun intended.
Is that
no pun intended?
I think that's a pun
intended. No pun intended. Who do you think should be the coach? I've heard about 50 names thrown out at this point.
It just depends who's down.
Who's down?
Who's down?
Well, the Johns boys aren't down.
I don't want fucking Danny Badiris there. Sorry.
I wouldn't hate it.
Do you?
No.
Why? Why would you?
Seems like a nice guy.
He seems like a nice guy, but I think what worked last year was the experienced coach. I would like Ricky Stewart in that. I think that was sort of my pick. But again, it's got to be if he's willing to do it. Now, there has been sort of talk that he could split time. Like he could just...
I've heard that Ivan would be if any club coach was going to do it, it would be Ivan.
Do you think he would?
I think he would at this point.
I mean, I'd take it. But again, the problem... I never like it when a coach is sort of coaching a club team and then coaching
it's
a
hard,
because
then
they're just going to pick...
Yeah.
Now, look, in Ivan's case, he's got a bunch of Penrith players, so it's not the end of the world. But in Ricky Stewart's case, it's the Canberra Raiders.
Hudson Young.
It's going to be Ethan Strange. It's going to be, I mean, who knows what else.
Nick Kotrick.
Yeah, Nick Kotrick is going to be back in the team. He'll get Raptor in there somehow. he'll find it. His passport.
Raptor's gone, but he'll ship him back over.
Yeah, he'll bring Raptor back in. But that's the problem with getting a coach. He's always going to have favourability to his players, especially like fringe players like Hudson Young. Like, yeah, obviously we're making the joke about Nick Kotrick, but Hudson Young could be a genuine consideration for a Blues coach, but he's not. But he shouldn't be. That's my point. Like he's a good player, but he's not anywhere near Angus Crichton or Olakau'atu or Liam Martin.
Yeah,
but if Ricky Stewart was making that decision, he would pick.
Yeah, obviously. Well, I mean, he's got in press conferences before and been like, yeah, he should be in the team. And then when he got dropped, he was like, oh, he's been done dirty here. He should be in the team.
So it's tough from that perspective. So, look, I'd prefer if Canberra would just sack him and then he'd be the Blues coach. But, it's an interesting one.
I've heard, I saw Gallen pretty heavily back Michael Ennis. I wouldn't mind Michael Ennis. He seems like, apparently he's really good at G'ing people up. Like,
yeah,
speeches
but you
want
a coach that knows tactics. Like, that knows,
I feel like he's pretty smart.
That has like a bit of... There's not just going to be a lad's lad. Like that was Madge Maguire. Like,
but that was Mal Meninga.
No, but he's still a great coach, though.
Not really. Everyone says he did not teach us
and
one
also,
thing about football.
To be fair, Mal Meninga had the greatest fucking team of all time, so it's pretty fucking easy for him.
Yeah, but we've got that team.
And when
now.
he's going up against fucking... Who was he going up against? I mean, Josh Reynolds and...
Mitch Pearce, prime Mitch Pearce. G-Train.
I mean...
Hayne Plain.
Hayne Plain, Aaron Woods, good old Sharon. He wasn't the greatest Blues team of all time. So, it's tough. You can always get a former player, which is my thing. You can always get a guy like that. It's just you worry and you can always sort of bank on the longevity of it because they don't really want to sacrifice their family life and time or whatever to be club coaches, and they'd much rather just be a 6-week coach and have that sort of, status of being a New South Wales coach. So they're always, keen for multiple years, like we saw with Freddie Fittler. But it's just, are you going to get the right one? And Billy Slater was the right one for Queensland, but is it? That's just the road you've got to choose. You've got to maybe see if you want to get an experienced guy in there, or you want to get a young guy. It's just it's whatever you think. Not whatever you think, but whatever.
It is whatever they think. That's how it'll work, and they'll pick someone.
Yeah,
so
it's tough.
Yeah, just hopefully it's someone good. As I did also hear that they're fucking thinking about Laurie Daly again.
No,
please God, please God.
You can't even get through the fucking tab sponsor thing on Matty John's show. Never mind run a fucking training camp for the Blues.
No. Laurie's he's done it. He's past his point.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess in last bit of NRL news, did you see the Aussie team get announced?
I didn't.
It just got announced.
When did it get announced?
Like an hour ago.
Shit.
Yeah, I'll read it out. This is the squad. Mitch Barnett, Matt Burton, Bradman Best, Pat Carrigan, Xavier Coates, Lindsay Collins, Ruben Cotter, Angus Crichton, Tom Dearden, Dylan Edwards, Harry Grant, Ben Hunt, Zach Lomax, Liam Martin, Mitch Moses, Cameron Murray, Reece Robson, Lindsay Smith, Hamaso Tabuai-Fidow, Tom Trebojevic, and Isaiah Yeo as captain.
Wow. Lindsay Smith,
our bench player.
I thought that was what I thought. I was, what? What? No, that can't be right.
That's right.
Lindsay Smith.
Yeah.
Lindsay fucking Smith.
Lindsay Smith, mate.
He wouldn't start for fucking West Tigers.
It's a well-deserved, mate. He's put in the hard yards this year.
Right.
Been a nice toiler for us. Kind of like when Matt Pryor played for New South Wales that one year.
Yeah. How did he get in there?
I don't know. But you're not mad about Isaiah Yeo captain, no Tedesco?
Look, I'm not shocked by that. I think when you've got that many quality fullbacks, I think he wanted Ponga's in there, right?
No Ponga.
No Ponga. So who are the fullbacks?
Edwards and Turbo.
Yeah, that's kind of bullshit. Almeninga's on his fucking power trip right now. Tom Dearden was another one. Fuck, that guy's the most overrated guy in the league. How did he win fucking 5-8 of the year?
I don't know. He's good at defence.
He's great at defence. Wow. He looks like he's tiny, but he can tackle well. That's cool. Doesn't do anything else. I mean, yeah, that's shocked me. Lindsay Smith is in an Australian team and James Tedesco isn't. Right. That's interesting.
Connor Watson misses out. That's a bit. I thought he would have got in.
Yeah, Malmaninga. Ben Hunt in there as well is fucking
that's
rogue
strange.
as hell. Absolute
Very
wank
strange.
for the last 8 weeks of the season.
Yeah. Oh, well, they'll probably get pumped by the Kiwis.
Yeah, that's a terrible team. If Lindsay Smith actually plays...
No Cherry Evans either.
Yeah.
And no Cleary.
So who are the halves?
It'll be Moses and Dearden, I guess.
Moses and Dearden.
Or Ben Hunt.
These players must have rejected or something. Surely
That's Moses, Dearden and Hunt. That's the three halves.
Oh.
And Burton, I guess.
Oh, God. How did Burton get in there?
Burton's really good. Burton probably should have won
Dalian the fucking
6.
New South Wales team. How does he get into an Australian team?
How does fucking Lindsay Smith get into it?
That's another fair point. Yeah, that is probably the roguest selection I've ever seen. It's like getting Tony Snell in the US team. It's just one of those.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting.
Right.
Right. So,
okay.
Yeah, very very interesting. We'll see how they go.
I mean, if Lindsay Smith plays any minutes, you're cooked. There's no chance.
See what the comments are.
If the comments just better be all Lindsay Smith.
First top comment: crying about Ponga, then not picking him is crazy. Don't know how Turbo keeps getting a gig. Teddy should have gotten a spot too. Lindsay Smith feels like Mal wrote down the wrong name. He's solid, but he's not in my top 60 Aussie players.
That's what I thought. I'm like, did I hear that right? Am I thinking of the same player? Have I just retarded? Have I just missed, like, the player? Did I think you said Lindsay Collins again, or?
Yeah.
Wow.
No, Mitch Kenny. Yeah, look, Mitch Kenny's a smoky. I would not be mad if he made the rep team.
Yeah, neither. But Ben Hunt and Tom Dearden and Lindsay Smith are in it, so that's great. Yeah, that's crazy. I cannot believe that's a team. That's probably the worst Australian team I've ever seen.
Yeah, but watch them just go and win now and be like, wow, what a genius this guy is.
Yeah, wow. They beat some poor Fijians who just, you know...
Well, they got to beat the Kiwis, but the Kiwis are missing all their best players, to be fair, so...
Yeah, it's tough. But, yeah, that's it. That's
no Munster either. Fuck. Well, Munster's going to be suspended anyway because he's a grub, but...
No, he got cleared.
He got cleared?
For the biting.
How?
Because Alamotti shoved his fucking arm into his mouth.
Yeah, and then he went like, ooh, and had a little nibble on it.
Brother, if you're fucking... You know how Conor McGregor got, like, submitted by Khabib, right?
Yeah.
When he got his fucking head in a crank. That's what fucking Alamotti was doing.
Yeah, but how is that different to the Jack White one a few years ago? It's the exact same.
I didn't agree with that either. I think when you're putting so much pressure onto a head for that amount of time...
Yeah, but you don't have to chomp on it. Just fucking leave your mouth there.
What's he supposed to do?
Just leave his mouth open.
He can't move. He's already on it. There's another guy on him. He has to fucking crank it. He has to, like... Get out of
That's BS. That was a grubby move.
That was a grubby move from Alamotti, just fucking cranking his neck.
No. You don't have to bite on it.
You don't have to bite. Sorry. Yeah, look, sorry. You get fucking walloped in the head. It's fine. But no, yeah.
It is fine. Don't bite back.
Anyway, moving on.
I've always said. Moving on. Basketball. There's actually a bit of news in basketball recently. Obviously, the season starts in 2 weeks. Pre-season's on at the moment. So that's exciting. Very exciting games. But anyway, the main news obviously is the Karl Anthony Towns trade from Minnesota to New York. New York have officially gone, fuck it, we're going for the championship. And they've gotten rid of Julius Randle and DiVincenzo, so we never got to see that college foursome play together. And they've got Cat. So I don't know what your immediate thoughts are on the trade.
My immediate thoughts were just like nothing. I didn't feel anything about it. It was a bizarre one. I think Minnesota don't get better in my opinion with this trade. Now you could argue that they get more sort of modern with it. I guess they get a bit more fluid in terms of play styles. I think DiVincenzo was great for the Knicks.
Fluid in terms of play styles. They got Julius Randle.
I know Julius Randle. I'm not really thinking
the biggest ball stopper in the league.
About more DiVincenzo and not having Cat and just having one big man instead of 2 7-foot guys on the court. And I just think that DiVincenzo was great with the Knicks last year, and they get a first-round pick as well, so I don't hate that. But yeah, again, was it enough? No. I think the Randle part of it really sticks out. Like, why would you want Julius Randle to take the ball out of Edwards' hand? Now, Cat can fucking chuck up some dumb threes and just be an idiot sometimes. But Randle, I mean, talk about hurting your up-and-coming star player. Just get the ball out of his hands and get a guy that posts up and tries to do a fadeaway every other play. I never got that part of the trade really. But yeah, from New York's perspective, they get maybe a bit of offense in that team. So I don't hate it from that perspective. They get some offense that they can rely on. At least in the regular season, in the playoffs, it's probably, get ready for some 3 and 13 shooting from 3 numbers. But yeah, they did need offense, and I think that was something that was probably pretty obvious in the playoffs last year. They do need someone to take the ball out of Jalen Brunson's hands at times, and I don't hate Cat for that. He spreads a floor. Julius Randle, not so much. So they probably just want someone that spreads a floor more. So yeah, I don't hate it for New York. I think it's you throw the dice at it. They've gone for it this season. They've obviously traded for Mikal Bridges. You're going for it. You want sort of get the best team possible around Brunson. So I don't hate it from that perspective. They didn't. I thought the Knicks won the trade essentially because Randall was essentially their problem. They clearly didn't want him around. He would have been a cancer in that locker room because he wouldn't have got the touches or the minutes that he would have wanted. And so, yeah, I think they win the trade simply by sort of solving a problem or by also adding to the talent they have. So, yeah, it was a win for the Knicks in my opinion.
And, yeah, the Knicks especially needed a centre realistically. They lost Hartenstein in the offseason.
Yeah.
Didn't really replace him with anyone. Mitchell Robinson, if you get 20 games out of him in a season, that's a win. The guy's always injured. So they needed centre depth. Cat is also quite injury prone, so that's going to be a bit of an issue. And
just hoping they're not injured at the same time.
If you can find an injury, Tom Thibodeau will find it for you. He'll give you 48 minutes a game. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, I think it's a good trade for the Knicks. They've got essentially 4 guys that can score now in the starting lineup. Their starting lineup is one of the best in the league, probably only behind Boston, I'd say now. So, but they do lose a bit of depth with DiVincenzo. So I think I saw they were like second favourites now in the league, behind Boston. So there you go. But yeah, Minnesota, they've fucked it. I mean, if you're going to trade one of your centers, probably trade the shit one and keep the good one. But I do feel very sorry for Anthony Edwards. He was clearly like pissed off that they traded Cat in the press conference. And now he's just stuck with Gobert and Randall. So that is quite possibly a punishment worse than death.
They've clogged the lane even more.
Yeah.
Which is, I don't know how you do that when you've already jogging out fucking 2 7-foot guys. I don't know what Minnesota are doing. They got Dillingham in there as well, who I like. Obviously, they drafted him, I think the 8th pick. So he's obviously a good handler of the ball. He can take the ball out of Anthony Edwards' hands. And I like that strategy with sort of getting someone that can take the pressure off him, but not fucking clog up the lane when you fucking need him in the playoffs. I just don't get it from Minnesota's perspective. So that's why I don't mind it from New York's. Obviously, they do get DiVincenzo, like I said, which I think is a plus for Minnesota. But yeah, it's going to be an interesting one to see if Minnesota does benefit from this. Because I do think Cat is not that great. I do.
He's good, but he's not.
No, but he can lose you a game. Like there was games that he lost Minnesota in the playoffs.
Yeah.
So look, I don't hate getting rid of Cat. I don't hate New York getting rid of Randall. I don't hate it, but the move together just felt like a bit on the mid side for New York, and just a bit you've lessened yourself on Minnesota side. So didn't think there was one clear sort of yes, we've made an improvement. Yes, we've made a move towards a championship for either team. Yeah, which is what you expect with such a big trade like that. So it's a bit interesting.
Yeah, and has there been any stories you've been following in the preseason or anything you've been?
Well, obviously Bronny is hard to miss. I mean, that's one thing I would actually like to talk about in the preseason. Essentially, all these Twitter accounts like House of Highlights and all them, they just fucking clip farm like the most stupid fucking clips of Bronny James. Bronny James with the hockey assist. And if you don't know what a hockey assist is, it's a pass to an assist. So he passed the ball to someone who assisted a basket. That is crazy. And they posted that on their Twitter page as like Bronny James with the hockey assist, while some probably unknown guy did a 360 dunk and they don't say shit.
Yeah. And I think what did he go, 1 for 9 or something?
Yeah. I didn't notice JJ Redick's press conference. He was like, look, defensively, he can do things that no one else can do.
He did get
offensively, we've got
a nice block.
Yeah. Offensively, we've got to help him figure out what his role is. And it's like,
his role is nothing.
If he doesn't know how to play offense by now, I mean, I don't know what the fuck you're going to tell him. I think Bronny, it's becoming more defensively. He looked impressive, and he looked impressive in summer league defensively at times. But I don't know. His
shot is just broken somehow. Like Alonzo Ball level broken.
He looks like a lost kid. Now, I think there is a bit of bias out there, especially. I mean, I can acknowledge that I have a bit of bias towards it, like because of the nepotism surrounding his pick and surrounding his opportunity. There is kind of a bias that you do have in saying because was picked because his dad's LeBron James, he's not as good. and maybe that's sort of factoring into what I see.
I want him to be good very badly.
Yeah, I know you want him to be good, but I just think he's such a limited offensive player. Now, I liked him in high school. Pause. In terms of a prospect, because I mean he was a top 20 prospect, high school prospect coming out?
He was very high in high school, and then college it obviously went to shit.
And people were saying he would be the next Drew Holiday. He had elite defensive traits, and he had a good shot in high school, and he looked like he could get to the basket somewhat. Now offensively, he has a lot of way to go to sort of get to that Drew Holiday level. But yeah, look, I think we'll see. It's going to be interesting to see if playing with his dad helps him in his offensive development, helps him with sort of working harder, or I don't know whatever it is. But yeah, it's going to be interesting.
It will be. And I'm going to be honest, I completely forgot JJ Redick was our head coach. When I saw the first trial game, I was like, holy shit, he's actually our head coach. I thought it was just not real. So
yeah, get pumped for that.
Yeah, look, we've made 0 moves in the off season, so look, big things ahead, I'd say.
Yeah, look, I'm with the Clippers as well. Like, what am I looking forward to this season? Like, what? Kawhi playing 40 games? Great, that's cool. James Harden, Derek Jones Jr., great. Nick Batum's back.
We've signed him for the 4th time, yes.
Yeah, great. We've traded him away 3 times, but brought him back every single time. It's like an infinite money glitch. You just like trade him away and then just bring him back.
It's just like those games where you can just when you die, you can just reverse before to when you die. Just good stuff there.
But yeah, good on him.
Good on him.
Yeah, I think basketball is heating up now, but yeah, hopefully he'll get the season kicked off soon, and we'll see who the real contenders and pretenders are.
Exactly right. That's how it works.
Cheeky.
And
moving on.
Moving on, do we want to chat a bit of football?
The football, United obviously drawing yesterday morning, or this morning I should say. I
think they're coming 14th.
Yeah, I am so checked out. It's not even funny.
You're checked out. Wow.
Well, not checked
out.
Diehard
United fan.
I'm not checked out in terms of like watching the game. I'll still watch the game, but I'm like, there is zero emotion when I'm watching. I'm just like so blank faced. I don't care. We are crap.
It's like, did you see that video of that little kid they were giving a jersey to?
No.
There was a little kid on the sideline that they were giving a jersey to for social media, and they were like, "Oh, do you like Man United?" And he was like, "Yeah." And they're like, "Who's your favorite player?" And he's like,
"Oh yeah, that clip.
None of them.
Yeah, they're all rubbish."
Yeah.
I saw that clip. Yeah, that's been going around for a while. But I mean, that's how bad we've been for so long. It's the fact that that clip was probably made 9 years ago, and it's still relevant today. Yeah, we're crap. I watched the Villa game. We were crap. I mean, to be fair, Villa were crap as well, but it was just such a shit game. Porto, again, were leaking goals. It's just, it's not great.
No, he has to get sacked now, surely.
Yeah, I think it's on the wall. The writing's on the wall. And look, it's a shame. I thought he was a guy, but clearly he's not. And well, look, it's obviously such a deeper problem than the manager. But he just doesn't have a play style. It doesn't seem like the players that he brought in have done that well. Obviously, Anthony's a massive mistake. Casemiro was great his first year. Looks like obviously a massive mistake now. Rashford was obviously one of the best players in the world when Ten Hag first came in his first season. For the past 2 years, he's been absolutely pony. So yeah, there isn't much hope for United's point of view, and it's just mistake after mistake at this point. And yeah, I think it's just a couple of games, but really before he gets sacked, which is sad, but it happens.
Yeah, I heard they offered the job to, is it the Inter coach?
Inzaghi. I don't think that's real. I think it's just the media. Italians fucking like to pump themselves up like they're the best in the world. Like fuck it off,
right.
But yeah, interesting that United are 14th, but not really for me. In terms of everyone else, Liverpool look great again, which is fantastic. Love that. City obviously doing great. Arsenal looking okay as well. So yeah, it's just my 3 favourite teams in the world just doing well, and United just fucking...
Tottenham sucking as well, aren't they?
And Chelsea, to be fair.
Chelsea are back.
That's something to talk about. Chelsea are a lot better. And
Cole Palmer is fucking ridiculous.
Well, Cole Palmer's unreal. And then, but it's like they've brought in so many players, but they finally, it's like Man United, but like Man United bring in so many crap players, and then they get one good one after every 10. But the thing with Chelsea is they buy their players all in one. Like, they bought 20 players in one window. Like, they'll get like a bunch of crap players.
They just bought them all to hold a trial.
Yeah, well, yeah, essentially they bought like all these crap players, but like in every window there's like 2 or 3 really good ones, and then by the time there's like 3 or 4 windows, you've fucking got a full team of great players. United is just like every 3 years you get one good player, and then you just, by the time you get some other good players, the first guy is already fucking 33 years old. So it's just one of them. But Chelsea, look, they look great. Sancho's looking better, which is great to see. And then, obviously, Cole Palmer's unreal. He's absolutely unreal. And Kunku's blowing bubbles, so that's cool for him, or blowing balloons, or whatever he fucking
Is that
does.
his celebration?
Yeah, he just gets, I don't know where he gets.
He gets an actual balloon.
Yeah, he blows a balloon.
Wow. He's French, right?
It's original.
It is original. Yeah, I mean, that was what I was going to say with Cole Palmer's celebration. Do you think he stole it from Trae Young?
What is it?
The shiver thing.
Ice
Trae, he does that. Because I don't think Cole Palmer's smart enough to know who Trae Young is.
No, I think they are. I think it's more, his nickname came before the celebration. Like, people called him,
I know he was called Cole Palmer, but
like, so maybe it was an adaptation of it. I don't know. You'd have to ask him yourself when you get the opportunity. But no, I think it's just it's kind of derived from.
But Cole Palmer, I don't know if you'd want to interview him. He seems like a very not smart guy.
Why is that?
Well, just from interviews I've seen.
Look, they're footballers. I mean, they fucking leave.
No, but him especially
13.
so.
They leave school at 13 though. So what can you expect, really? Anyway, moving on from football. Football's kind of dead right now. I hate United. I hate life. Moving on. UFC. Did you see the UFC yesterday?
I
heard about it. I did not watch it.
Yes. Well, it was Pereira once again. Feels like this guy's fighting every 2 months. But he defends his belt again against Khalil Roundtree. You obviously don't know who that is.
No, I do. I do.
do.
I've seen him in the prelims of some other fights that we've watched.
Right.
I do remember him. Obviously, it probably does help that his name is Roundtree, so that's why I recognise him. But no, I did watch that part of it, or watched, sort of the highlights of that fight. He got absolutely fucked up. I mean, Jesus. How
the thing is, he dropped Pereira in the second round. Yeah. He was winning the fight, and then Pereira just went beast mode and killed him.
Well, Pereira is just crazy. What was your sort of take on that fight? Obviously, as the UFC intellect.
Pereira is insane. I think he's 37 or 38. He's
really,
he's up there, and he's probably the biggest star in the UFC right now. If not, I don't know. I don't even know who's bigger. Maybe John Jones, but
you'd have to actually be fighting to be a big star in the UFC.
So
to be fair, John Jones does have Dana talking about him every week, so that does help.
Exactly, yeah. So, I mean, another great performance. And it's in a dead division as well, like the worst division in the UFC. I mean, Roundtree, he was the 8th ranked light heavyweight, has like no good wins. They've just thrown him a title shot because I don't think they want to match him up with a wrestler, which is fair enough. No one wants to see that shit. So they've given him a title shot. It was a great fight, so everyone's, happy about that. And everyone was saying how shit the card before that, or the rest of the card that happened before that was. I don't know if you saw what happened, but Kayla Harrison was the first fight. You know Kayla Harrison, right?
I might do.
She's like really jacked. She's signed from PFL. No, but she's really jacked.
Okay.
And but anyway, she won. Got on the mic, called out the winner of the bantamweight fight because the co-main was the women's bantamweight title fight. Then Kevin Holland lost again. This guy sucks now. It's sad to see, but anyway.
Hard to see.
And then the main controversy was Jose Aldo. He fought, you're not going to know who he is, but he fought a bantamweight guy. It was like a top 10 fight pretty much. And the guy essentially just cuddled him against the cage for the entire fight. And he got given the decision, which a lot of people saying is a robbery because Aldo landed the majority of the punches. And it was, just a very, very, I would say, negative reaction from the public about the decision.
You don't think it's because Aldo's more of a fan?
That's obviously a part of it. That's amplified it. But it's for sure a problem. Like, Aldo should have won the fight. And it's sort of brought to light this issue where there's certain fighters, a la Marab, a la Bilal, that cuddle people for victory. And there should be some sort of, I guess, there's a reward for taking someone down. There should be some sort of scoring reward for stuffing a takedown on the other side.
Yeah.
And it's sort of brought to light how the judging is very flawed in this scenario. Not even to begin with how subjective it is, where one judge can see it fucking 5-0 for someone, this guy sees it 5-0 for the other guy. So, it was just very controversial. And obviously it's sad to see Aldo essentially get his career finished in such a shit way. Because, Jose Aldo, he's 38, allegedly. I saw this video of Gilbert Burns saying when they were growing up, Aldo was like 2 years older than him. Because I think they're from the same part of Brazil.
Yeah.
And now they're the same age. So.
Yeah. I don't know why he'd lie about his age, though.
It's just, I think in Brazil, sometimes there's no like official documentation of your actual birth. So it's kind of up in the air.
Shit. That's rough.
Yeah.
But yeah, interesting to see. What did Dana say about sort of that whole...
Oh, he just said the judging was an abomination all night. So, and then in the women's title fight, Pena beat Pennington.
Wow.
And again, a lot of people saying that was a robbery. And it was very funny. Juliana Pena got on the mic and they put Kayla Harrison on the split screen, the chick who won earlier in the night. And they were like, so you're going to fight Kayla Harrison next. What are your thoughts on that? And she was like, I'd rather actually fight Amanda Nunes if she could come out of retirement, please. Ooh. And it was pathetic. Like, she was ducking Kayla Harrison because Nunes is not coming out of retirement. So really embarrassing stuff there from Pena as like professional fighter to be just ducking someone so publicly. Pena, it's crazy. But I guess the main thing is obviously Pereira. No one gives a fuck about anything else that happened. And I guess my perspective is now he has to fight. He has to go and try and get the heavyweight belt. He has to go for greatness because he's that good. He's accomplished so much in such a short span of his career. He's 38. He's got to do it now. Yeah. He has to go for it and try and be the first ever 3-division champ.
Yeah. Well, is it Aspinall Pereira? Because that would be a fucking...
Or Jones Pereira.
Mate, Jones ain't fucking fighting Pereira.
I think he would potentially fight Pereira over Aspinall.
Yeah, over Aspinall. I don't think he's fighting anyone after Stipe.
Yeah.
Unless Stipe wants to come out and fight again. I think he'll fight Stipe 30 times if he has to, but I don't think he's fighting Aspinall Pereira. And that's what I want to see. I want Jones just go, mate. Just after this fight, I don't want to see you fucking walloping around anymore. Leave the division open, and then Pereira, Aspinall fight for the open belt. Don't you think that'd be kind of fucking...
Yeah, that would be good.
That would probably get... I mean, how many buys would that... That would be a fucking crazy event, especially if they got some...
It would be massive. But if you... Just the name of John Jones versus Pereira, that would be huge as well. But yeah, but that would be extremely unfair to Aspinall if you give the fight to Pereira because he's been the interim champ for 2 years at that point. So yeah, it's tough. But
so when is the Stipe Jones fight?
November.
Okay, so we can finally get that out of our fucking rearview mirror after November, and finally just move on with our lives and don't have to worry about John Jones being in or out. Please. I mean, but what if Stipe wins, though? Does he stay?
No, he retires.
But what if he's like, I'm keeping on going? And then he does like this...
Well, he's already said he's retiring.
Okay. Well...
But you never know. He may get a rush of blood and think he's still got it. And he's like, fuck it, I'll go again.
Let's go again with John Jones. And it's like, oh, no. Oh, no. Please, no. I did also see Conor McGregor having some fun, as per... Just on a live stream to being a fucking whack job.
Yeah.
Hey, I mean, this guy does anything apart from fighting. I mean...
Yeah. It's still... I mean, it's kind of funny to still see him talk shit about, Ilio Toporio or whatever he called him.
Yeah.
But...
Well, no, I talk shit, but it's like, come on, just fight. Come on, mate.
Yeah.
Or at least announce your retirement.
And the guy, honestly, I think he could beat Bilal Muhammad. and everyone was saying now, because Raquel Pennington dropped Pena in their fight. That was the first knockdown of her career. And it's like, everyone's, Raquel Pennington now has more career knockdowns than Bilal Muhammad. And the same amount of career knockdowns as Merab Dvalishvili. So there's just these fucking crotch sniffers that are just plaguing the UFC.
Well, it started with the Dagestanis, mate.
Yeah, but Islam is fun to watch. They wrestle for domination. They beat you to a pulp.
Yeah.
They go for submissions. These guys are fucking just tree huggers.
Yeah.
Zero damage.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. I mean, obviously you want to see them out. It's just, but they play. I mean, they abuse the rules essentially, and like you said, the judging rules to win. They know that, like, it's like time of possession. Like,
they literally fail takedowns to win.
Like, if you hold on to the ball for long enough in like a fucking, it's like them fucking passing the ball around the back in football. Like, they're keeping onto the ball to avoid losing, and 9 times out of 10 they win because of, you know, not putting themselves at risk and hugging the opponent and sort of landing the odd shot, but essentially just staying on top of them the whole fight. So, yeah, you do want to see him out of it, but who can beat them?
I don't know, but you know the MMA guru, right?
Oh yeah, I do.
Yeah, so he put out a public hit. He was like, because the guy who beat Aldo, his name is Mario Bautista. He said, the first UFC fighter to knock out Mario Bautista, I'm transferring $10,000 to, and an extra $1,000 for every follow-up shot you give him on the ground. So
wow,
he's kind of like the spirit animal of the hardcore.
Isn't he
UFC
the guy
community.
that said he had someone on his podcast, a fighter, and like they called him out mid-fight? I can't remember exactly. Someone said like he said that someone was like, it was the worst performance he's ever seen about someone. And they came on the podcast and asked him, like, why did you say my performance was the worst?
Probably.
And I was like, well, yeah, it was a bad performance. Like,
yeah.
What am I going to say?
Probably. He's interviewed a few fighters now. He's had Dricus, Paddy, Hanato Moicano, O'Malley. He's done a few things with O'Malley. So it's probably one of those guys.
It might have been Paddy.
He did. He has talked a lot of shit about Paddy. Yeah, I think it was Paddy. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, he's a big boy who likes to talk about MMA. So fair play. Moving on, you got a bit of F1 you want to chat about, or?
F1. There's not really been any races, I think, since last time. Obviously, Ricciardo's officially been sacked off now. So sad stuff. But
yeah, looking forward to the end of the season. Main thing.
Yes, looking forward to the end of the season. Down with Red Bull.
Please.
Down with Perez, especially. Fuck that guy.
Red Bull overall.
Fuck
but yeah.
Guy. Yeah. What else? Any NFL news?
Not really. I mean, obviously my fantasy's going on at the moment and I'm fucking stressed out. I score the most points in my league, but I mean, for some reason that doesn't mean anything because I just seem to fucking come up against the person that scores them. I've literally conceded 40 more points than anyone else in the league. I'm 2-2. I've scored the most points and I'm 2-2. So how does that work?
What, you got no defense?
No, it's not. It's not defense. It's just you match up with somebody, and your like offensive players match up with their offensive, your offensive players play, and their offensive players play, and whoever gets the most points wins.
Right.
So I get fucked every week because some random bozo, like this week. We could go through this week. Oh, fucking Rico Dowd's got a fucking touchdown. Look at this week. Fucking
Rico Dowds.
Rico Dowd. This is fucked, man. This is so unbelievably crazy. All right. So I have Rico Dowdle, right? That's the name of this guy. 16 points. Do you know what his high is for this season? 16 points. Tank Bigsby, the next guy, scored 28.9 points on me this week. Guess what his high is for this season? 28.9 points. Right. His next highest is 9 points.
Wow, there you go.
Michael Pittman. Guess what his high on the season is? He scored 14 points. 14.7. His high is actually 17.3. Okay. So there you go. But he's got the second highest. Brian Thomas scored 26.2 points on me.
Nice.
Guess what his highest points of the season is? 26.2. Brock Bowers scored 26.7 points on me. Guess what his high of the season is? 26.7. Brandon Ayuk scored 22.7 points against me. Guess what his points were?
He's been trash, hasn't he?
Yep. Guess what his highest points? Yep, 22.7. And guess what his next highest is? 9.8. Great. I am getting absolutely fucking bent over.
Well, you got to be able to read the game, read the week-to-week fixtures. Can you change your plays on a week-to-week?
I don't even know what to say. I scored the most. I've scored 150 points, and I'm losing. How does that happen?
I don't know, mate.
I can't deal with it anymore. It's driving me.
Just give up the game. Give up the goose? I don't think so.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I just can't deal with it anymore. It's driving me nuts. I mean, I won last year. I picked the best players. I've got the best team. What
did you win? Did you get anything?
A trophy and some money.
A trophy and some money.
So there you go. But anyway, thanks for listening, everybody. Sorry for my rant at the end there. Hope you enjoyed a bit of a chat about the NRL and everything else. But yeah, hope you enjoy, and hasta la vista. Like and subscribe.
Peace out.